Hi folks, we're going to be repotting my variegated Ficus Benjamina into a pond basket. It needed some root work done and I'd wired up the roots, so now we're going to do some pruning on the roots. The top has been pruned a little bit to prevent it from interfering with other trees that are next to it. That's the only reason. It hasn't grown much, but I think if I don't get in there now, I'm going to run into bigger issues with those roots than I had before. So here we go. We're going to be using, of course, pond basket. I'm going to try to use the bottom of this in the pond basket to weigh this down. Uh, Probably going to have to use some actual real cutters, little ones, my root stake or soil stick, soil pick, my brush, my root hook from Matt, Bobcat Bonsai. I do recommend, if you haven't already, to get one of those from him. They're awesome. And we're going to see if this thing comes out. I like this pot. I just think that this thing needs a little bit of treatment. So we're going to scooch over, oops, without throwing the camera. One moment. Zoom back in. It's not technical difficulties, it's personal problems. Let's see if we can't get you where you need to be. All right. Ooh, that's a little better. All right. Should be good. All right. Do a little spin in the middle so you guys can see what I'm working with here. Can't see much of the roots. There's, wire on there. Wire over here to try to spread them out to be more radial. There were 3 big ones, like a lot of maples get. And I'm hoping that I can make it a little bit less terrible. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, really like that. That came out nice. All right, didn't expect that. That's good news. This even has some roots on the inside, but this is one of those not normal bowls. It's like not 3D printed, but resin. That's what it is, polyresin bowl. So I'm actually really impressed that it did that well. So let's see. I've already got in the basket, but that's because I'm trying not to spring soil everywhere. Let's see what we got going on in here. I'm apprehensive, but I did like that it all came out like that. Yeah. And of course, I'll be dealing with wire on the roots, which I was told was not a great idea, but I tried it anyways because I didn't want to lose those roots. They weren't so big. I thought them unmanageable. They weren't so small that I thought I could regrow them easily. Got a nice one in there that I didn't know I had, which is nice. Maybe I didn't know I had it. I don't know. Maybe that's the one I wired out. We'll find in a couple minutes here. Yeah. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing way better than the triangle fig. That thing, absolute mess. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot better already. All right. So there we go. Now I've got a little bit in the bottom of this to hold things kind of in place, which is also nice. And I'm going to put it off to the side for a minute. And I'm going to work on getting this wire off of here. Now I'm going to take it off this way, unwinding it. Because it's not really like tight on there. It didn't bite in or anything, which is what I wanted. I didn't want it to bite in. But also, I don't think it's in any way interfering with feeder roots, so I'm less concerned for that reason. I haven't torn off any roots, taken off. There's a couple that came off just in my hands, but I think that would have happened anyways. And that gave me a little bit more. So I like what that did. Was it perfect? No, but did it do what I wanted to do? Yes. This one is barely even on there, so I'm not worried about that as much. All right, I'm gonna keep going through here. I think that's all the wire I had on here, which is good. Don't have any more on there. I'm not sure everything that's going on with this, but I think that so far I'm pleased. Did not expect there to be as positive a result. I did take more care and be able to choose the repot on this one versus the other one I did not. This one looks like roots that have been in a nursery basket versus looking like roots that have been up against a wall like that other one. All right, that's looking pretty good so far. See, there's a lot of longer roots here that I'm not going to want. There's some new roots that I really want. So I'm going to give this a little rinse. So not as much dirt on the table this time. We're going to go in and all right, helped a lot actually. I'm seeing some stuff I don't like, and I'm seeing some stuff I like. I think you guys can tell which is which. All right, put that down. I'm going to place this to the side for a moment. Put this out of the way. I'm going to scoop all this off the top, so I got a little bit cleaner of a working surface. All right, I'll plop this right back down. So, first thing I see is this root right here, which is going everywhere but straight out. I was successful, I think, in getting it more radial, but I think now I've got to work on it being long and curving, which it does not need to do. I know it has a lot of the roots for this plant on it. It has enough roots, and I cut a little bit farther down there. I think this will take back over and will be good. So that is a trash root now. This one, I can't tell if this is even a root or if it's just an old. Oh, I think this is one that I cut and it grew new roots out, which is good. I'm okay with that. These are good roots in here. Yeah, it's certainly one that was cut and grew new roots out. Or rotted. Seems like there's some rot in here. Which isn't good, but this tree is certainly come back from it. I like those. I like the way they're growing. I'm going to leave them. I'm going to take them back shorter. Of course, everything's going to come back shorter. Those aren't doing too badly, especially because I'll have room for them. On the bottom here, I've got some stuff growing straight down. I'm going to take care of that. Ooh. Is that it? Yeah. Quite a bit of good roots there, but stuff we don't want. Just like this one here goes back down and under, so I'm going to take it off there. This one here is growing from underneath. Let's see if I can uncover it a little bit better. Yeah, this is growing from underneath. I don't want it down there. It's not where my root plane is. So I'm going to see if I can take it off without. There we go. Is that all of it? I think it was. All right. I've taken off quite a bit of roots already, but realistically, it's so much better than it was before. Oops, sorry, bumped the camera there. And I think I'm very, very happy with where it's headed. I did not want to be, decimating this thing. There we go. Just took a little bit more off that bottom there. I don't mind that these go a little far into the soil there. As it is, I think if I went too hard into pruning them off, creating issues. Don't think I need to do that. I do think I'd like to have some more roots down here at the base of the tree coming out. I don't think that's something that is a huge issue right now. It's just something that comes with repeated pruning and time. Just cut this as far up as I can. The closer I can get to the bottom of these roots, I think, the more likely I am to get something coming out like in between here. Just where I need something. It's remarkably radial, considering all things. Now I'm just thinking, when it comes to roots, I'll take this off here actually, because you don't want so many subdivisions that is like 3 from one place. Like this one comes over top right here, this little one. I'm gonna take that off. Now I'm gonna take this one back quite far to right there. This one's doing good. It's doing good. These are both kind of radial. Pleased with that. We've got this one that I said I was going to leave, but yeah, I'm going to leave that one. This one comes out into 3. But I think in the terms of this, everything kind of combed out, I think it'll do fine. See, it can stand on its own. Give it a little spin. I know, not perfect, but way, way better than it was before I put it into that pot. And I think, although it had a little bit of rot, I can just use this soil as a little bit of a base layer. Nothing too crazy. It'd just be too low. I left it there. So I'm going to dump a whole bunch of good soil on top, mound it up, give this another rinse. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to try to put this in here. All these roots are staying radial. So coming out like that, that like that. Yeah. There we go. So what's nice about these pond baskets is you don't have to worry so much with leaving the roots long. They'll prune themselves. Now you don't want to leave them too long, but still, this will be a sort of self-pruning endeavor here. Which is nice. Very nice. All right. Push stuff down to the corner here. Just going to do a little. Fairly certain there's no air gaps. And I know this is kind of a hard prune, but I think it was the right decision. I'm very happy with myself for where this one's sitting. I did buy this in a bonsai pot. I'm trying to remember. No, I bought this in a nursery container. But I did have to do some work to get it to where it's at now, of course. It's not just raw out of the nursery stock container. I am not ready to be uncovering that root flare, but I think it needs better growth and I think it needs more room for that. I definitely want to encourage more of that radial root system that I've got started. I can't tell you, I don't sound very happy. I'm so happy that the roots didn't look like garbage. I thought they were going to, honestly. But those look pretty good. So I did a lot of work on them, but more so to get those smaller roots closer to the tree than anything else. I think the same as the branches. When you cut them, they try to back bud, even though they're root buds, and you're more likely to get a better radial root base if you do it that way. All right, now it's time for one of my favorite parts. I'm going to remove this, put it up where it'll stay dry, and it's time to water this in. So it's going to be hydrophobic because it's all mostly new soil. Start off just giving a little dash. I'm not going to spin this quickly for fear that the water will go to the outsides. I don't want that. It's my hope that with this I will get lots and lots of really, really good roots. This is very hydrophobic soil. Media, sorry. It's not soil yet. I've got some work to do to make this soil. I'm likely going to be putting, same as the other one, mycorrhizae, and what's the other stuff called? Shoot, fertilizer. I'm likely to be putting fertilizer and mycorrhizae in here. Maybe even some rooting compound, both of them. Should probably put rooting compound in the first one there, just to make sure that it lives and that roots are growing. Yeah, this soil is incredibly dry. But that's new soil for you. I didn't want to use used soil for these particular ones. I know I did for the base layer, but I don't think the base layer is going to make as much of a difference. I really do want roots coming out to the sides, not just the bottom. As that water's in, it looks good to me. Top a little water. And I've got to think about where my water is going to come off the table real quick. Scoop this over. It's down and ooh. Good enough, right? All right. Oops. A little water in there since it's starting to come out the bottom. I keep the good times going, right? put this here to, it's not really helping me. You can see all that water is going to that side. You can see the current there as it comes out. Just really, really good. Turn a little bit back to where it was so it drips in the middle of my bucket there. All right, we are looking pretty darn good. I'm not adjusting the angle or anything on this. I think I'd said before, although this was the old leader, I don't think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to use this as the new leader. Just let that little crook there straighten itself up. I might change my mind on that. But regardless, that branch is too big unless this one thickens up a lot. I know this is headed straight up right now, but the idea is to get something down low. It can kind of change direction for me. So I'm going to lift this because I don't have any other way to get the stuff out the very bottom. That was kind of the idea too, is to make sure that all of that water kind of gets stuck in there and soaks in. So now it's draining nicely. And that is my variegated Ficus Benjamina, pot into a pond basket to work on some roots. So thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a good rest of whatever time of day it is for you. And I hope you tune into the next one.